Okay then, hello everybody, welcome back to Team Prawn Racing. So, last week you joined me out and about. We were setting up the brake bias. I just changed the master cylinder. We got a massive improvement in pedal feel. We were setting up the brake bias, so I carried on doing that. Did a bit more driving, and you know what? It's still not quite right. So, what's not right about it? Basically, I can still lock the rears before the front. I've been out, done some testing in some very remote, quiet areas, nowhere near the public highway. And hard braking from speed, I can still lock the rears before the front. And it's just not a nice feeling. And in a race situation, it's not going to do me any favours. It's always going to end badly. So, we need to reduce the rear braking effort further. Now, the master cylinder change has really made the pedal feel better, but then we've still not got the bias. Even with the balance bar adjusted fully to the front, we've not quite got the bias we need to the front. We're still getting too much to the rear. So just shut it down on the prop valve, you say. Tilton prop valve, which you can see in there. That's been installed in the car for many years. Turns out it doesn't work. Right, so I'm going to jump in the car, put the ignition on, show you our brake bias readings on the dash, and then move the prop valve around and show you that it does nothing. Here we are in the car. Brake bias is currently all the way forward, so that should be rear fully shut down. So we will scroll into this lovely dashboard. Right, so we're on the dash. 64, 63. 64. 63. 63. Pretty repeatable. So we're going to come back out. We're going to go all the way. We're just going to do full swing. All the way. And if you look on the lever here, it says more brake, more brake, more brake. That is as far to the back as it goes. So I'm going to do this in real time. So you know I'm not fudging it. Oh, I hope I get the right result like I did earlier. Now, let's press the pedal. 64. 63. 63. It's made no difference. So there you go. So I've swung the Tilton from the front right to the back. Press the pedal over and over again, and all we get is 64%. It's absolutely no different. It is doing nothing. And yeah, for those that are wondering, the pressure sensor is there. It's post prop valve. So the pressure sensor is post prop valve. I know there's a curve for this if you look on the Tilton website, but feel free to look up the numbers. We are well within the realms of where that should be levelling off the pressure. Put simply, the Tilton doesn't work. So what are we going to do about this? We don't want to go to a larger rear master cylinder because that's what we had before and we just didn't have the right pedal feel. We know the Tilton doesn't work. I do want to keep a prop valve. When you think of brakes, you think of quality. You think of as good as it gets. There's only really one name that comes to mind, isn't there? That's right. We're going to fit an AP 7-position lever type bias valve in place of the Tilton, and this is going to work. So there's a lot of stuff bandied around about prop valves. Tilton come with the old pressure chart. I'm a big Tilton fan, don't get me wrong here. I actually run competition suppliers who import Tilton into the UK. I asked him, I said, I've got issues with my Tilton prop valve. Doesn't seem to be functioning. He said, look, we sell them, but I'll be honest, get rid of it. Tilton, amazing products. For whatever reason, the prop valve is clearly not the greatest. However, you can read all sorts online. Some people use a Tilton, think it works. Some people use a Willwood one, apparently it works, but it's about 25 quid. I'd be wary of that when the Tilton one was £100, it doesn't work. But one thing you won't find anybody disagreeing on is the best prop valve there is the AP one. Lever type, so you've got 7 really nicely machined clicks. So you've got 7 clicks, each one apparently makes a decent difference. They provide you with a data chart that I'll pop up here somewhere to tell you what each click is doing in terms of how much it locks it down. So what we're going to do, we're going to put the AP valve in. We know what bias percentage we've been running at there now, about 64%. In theory, I should be able to move the balance bar back closer to centre, lock this down somewhere central, which gives me a reasonable reduction already, and then kind of tweak the balance bar back to about that 64%, and from there I've got the option to tune on the bias lever. It's all theory though. It's only a week till we race. It's Saturday night now, so 1 week from now we will already have done the first race at Brands Hatch. That'll be tomorrow for you watching this now. I really hope it works. I really, really hope this works, because last year the car was super strong on the brakes, especially Brands Hatch opening lap into Druids, just stamp on the anchors. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to get on, strip out the Tilton stuff, which does mean a bit of a re-pipe work, because weirdly, I'll tell you what, that's one thing on the AP, in and out for a right hand, yeah, in and out for the way it flows, but weirdly that is applying more rear brake, so you push the lever towards the inlet, which is a bit odd because you'd have it facing the other way, or you have the hoses crossing over, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to remake all the hard lines inside the car to suit this now. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. I'll probably show you the finished result when it's done. See you in a bit. Right, it's tomorrow. It got late, I got tired, didn't really feel like filming anything. The AP valve is in. So, one AP valve in and installed. Odd question, why are these crossing? Well, if you look closely on the valve, you've got a direction of flow. But what is weird about the AP valve is most rear reduction is with this lever toward the outlet side of the valve. So if you imagined it, fluid typically would go front of the car to back, so it should flow this way through the valve. So the outlet to the valve would normally be at the back facing the rear brakes. But to get less rear brake, you would end up pushing the lever backwards. And to get more rear brake, you'd end up pushing the lever forwards. Kind of seems counterintuitive. If you go, oh, I got too much brake, too much rear brake in a race situation, you want to knock the lever forward to knock it off. So I have mounted the valve so that the lever operation, so that is central. Do I want more front brake? Knock it forward. Do I want more rear brake? Knock it backward. So I've mounted the valve that way round, which means the lines come in, flow through the valve that way, and then cross again. I don't mind how that looks because this is a more ergonomic solution. Sometimes, especially when building a race car, you've got to do something that feels slightly unorthodox just so that it works for you, so that it works in the situation you're going to be using it. It's all great sat in a garage going through the theory, but in the heat of the moment, you need to know it's going to do what you want to do. And for me, running the valve that way around just made more sense with the forward and back motion. Plus, that is what has always been the case with the Tilton, which very literally says more brake for the direction you move it. Right, so the valve is in, I'm back in the car, we've got the ignition on, we've got the AP lever here, which is such a nicer action than the previous Tilton. But as I said, how can I hold this best? Who knows? As I said, you've got the lever there. You want more rear brake, you pull it back. You want more front brake, you push it forward. It's ergonomically the right way it should be. So I'm going to flip the camera, we'll get the screen up with the brake bias readings, and we'll see if this makes a difference. And if it doesn't, I might look quite stupid. Right, so we're on our main screen. There's our diagnostic screen, brake bias, front and rear. Right, so we were at, not sure why the rear is currently saying 1 bar. Not sure about that. I might need to drive it and see what the pads are doing. It's definitely free play in the pedal, so there's no pressure there. Right, all the way on, We're now at 67. So that is allowing full rear brake. 67, 67, 67. Right, so right now, bias bar, full rear. Let's focus on that. 67, 68. Now before we were at 63, 64. So it's definitely doing a reduction. And what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go all the way to the front. No idea real time what this is going to do. Wow, 80%. 78, 80, 78, 80. Wow. I think that's pretty conclusive. So Tilton, full range, we got 63% whatever we did. AP is now on, and with the full sweep range, we're getting from 67 to 80%. So we've got a full 13% adjustment in the bias lever itself, in the prop valve, as well as all the adjustment I've got on the dash. So what I now know, I can move my balance bar back a bit and then shut the rear down on the prop valve so that everything is closer to the middle of its adjustment range. And I think that is going to be a better place for us. Right, this is pretty cool. I'm going to try and keep my foot stable. Look at the brake bias. Not moving my foot. It's moving a few percent each time and the front pressure hasn't changed. 75, 73, 71, 68, 66, 65, 64. How cool is that? It actually works that well. 75 through to 63. AP Racing. This works. This is great. Thank you.
The very next evening.
Right then, a little bit of a time hop for you, but car is currently up in the air because it's being spanner checked ahead of Brands, which by the time you're watching this is tomorrow. So I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try and put the links here to our live timing and our live stream video. So we are out, we are qualifying at 10:50. I think our first race is Saturday at 1:35, and then Sunday race 2 is what is it, 12:20. 12:20 Sunday. I'm going to put the links in down here. If you're watching this Friday and you want something to watch at the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, BARC live stream, links are down here. Go check it out. Support us at the race event this weekend. For now, that's all we're going to get to. We're not going to go out for a little test drive now. I've had quite a lot going on. I need to get ahead and spanner check the car, and then I'm going to get round to a test drive and make sure it all works, set up the bias how I want. But it's pretty obvious just from the data on the dash, the AP valve works so well compared to the Tilton. I can get a huge range from where I am, more, less, whatever I want. It's got to do the job. Just a case of setting it up, really. Oh, next week we are heading over to GP Racing to get the car weighed and aligned ahead of some more major changes that we're hopefully going to be bringing to round 3 at Castle Combe. There goes a plane. Wait for the noise. Joys of living near an airport.
1 minute, 37 seconds later.
Right, well, that's quite enough rambling from me. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Tune in next week when we're going to be at GP Racing. And I will see you very shortly. Take care, guys.